high as the San Antonio Spurs. A 20-point blowout victory of the Oklahoma City Thunder last night, 130 to 110. Listen, we got Christmas games coming up tomorrow. NBA owns Christmas. Everybody knows that. The Oklahoma City Thunder were thought to have owned the league. All right, they started out 24-1. Then they ran into the San Antonio Spurs in the semifinal of the NBA Cup. That was a loss. A couple games later, they lose again to Minnesota. And now last night, the once invincible Oklahoma City Thunder have now lost 3 of their last 5 games. Is this a good thing?
Well, is it a good thing for which team? Because it's certainly a good thing for the Spurs and the confidence.
For us as an audience.
I think it's a good thing for the NBA generally, yes, because I am one who believes that the more parity, the better, and not that there's parity here. Both of these teams are the future of the NBA. Both of these teams are excellent, but the idea that OKC was just going to roll and we were going to have, a 70-win season.
It seems like I was talking. Hey, listen, I'll put my hand up right here. I started whispering, when do we talk about 80 wins?
Everybody was doing that. You weren't the only one. We had already gotten to that point. It was very early in the season. And oh, by the way, now we found a team down there in San Antonio who can hang with OKC. And really, that's the takeaway here. Some matchups just are not good matchups for teams in the NBA. And it feels like, for whatever reason, that OKC specifically struggles with this Spurs team. And it's fun for all of us on the outside looking in who have no dog in the fight, because these are young teams. These are young teams with superstars that are becoming the faces of the NBA. It's a budding rivalry. Plus, we know about the rivalry specifically also between Shea and Wemby. So you kind of got it all between these two teams. And you wouldn't have any of that if it was just one of them rolling over the other one. Or more specifically, if it was OKC rolling. Because the Spurs rolling and beating them by 20 last night, that does nothing to quelch the rivalry. If it had been the other way around, would we have even been up talking about it this morning?
No. And by the way, they're going to play again on Christmas. You're not going to have to wait too long to see this again. They are going to play again tomorrow. How about this? I mentioned a couple of weeks ago an amazing stat where this was still when they were 24-1. The Oklahoma City Thunder this season at that point had led by more minutes and seconds on the season by 20-plus points in a game than they had trailed by a point in any game. Well, now, last night, they were the last team in the league to trail in a game by 20 points. Last night was the first time all season. Now, they lost by 20. Last time was the first time all season they trailed at any point in a game by 20 points.
Here's the thing. People are going to say that this is bad for the psyche of OKC because now they're going to realize that there's cracks in their foundation, that they're not impenetrable. All those things could add up psychologically. I actually think it could end up being a good thing.
It is a good thing. It's a
for
good
them
thing.
Ultimately, in terms of being battle tested, needing some of that dose of reality before you try to actually make a run eventually here at a postseason, which is obviously the goals of both of these teams. It's the goal of every team in the NBA, but particularly these teams when you have the budding superstars that you have on these teams. And so for OKC, such a young team to know, all right, champs, it's not that your bleep don't stink, right? We still have teams that can play with you, and you're going to have to continue to improve because those other teams are getting older and getting more experienced, and they coming. So if you want to have a dynasty, you also are going to have to keep coming.
She's Amber Wilson. I'm Jonathan Zaslow. Be a part of Unsportsmanlike Nation on the Dr. Pepper call-in line. Call us at 888-SAY-ESPN. That's 888-729-3776. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. College football, it's a pepper thing. Victor Wembanyama, he's a good player. Victor Wembanyama.
He's pretty good. That's a hot take right
I'll tell you something real quick about Wembanyama as well. He came off the bench again last night. He's on a little bit of a minutes restriction right now. Came off the bench last night.
Everybody's on a minutes restriction.
Oh, you got to manage the load.
Everybody else have a minutes restriction.
You got to manage the load. 5 straight games he has come off the bench. I love that about Wembanyama. And what I mean by that is even on a minutes restriction, how many stars in the NBA you think are just like, yeah, I'll come off the bench for 5 straight games?
Right.
I mean, I'm one of the best players in the league. I get it. Yes, there's a minutes restriction. I don't care. I'm a starter, okay? We're going to use my minutes at the start of the game because I'm a starter. I'm on a minutes restriction. Oh, well, figure out. Wembanyama doesn't care. he'll come off the bench. He's on a minutes restriction. Want to make sure he's available throughout the game, and we're doing whatever's best for the team. Victor Wembanyama, after the game last night, is this the next big rivalry?
I guess the signs are arena is packed, energy is different, physicality from the first to the 40th minute is up there. Hard to describe it. You know, it's like when PSG plays Marseille in France. You know, this is a real rivalry. But it's as I said, it's something that's built on years and years. You know, it's not something you can just make up like this. That doesn't take away that it's a good matchup, but it takes a lot.
I was about to say too, Amber, it's just like PSG.
Yeah.
Same thing.
That was the example that we all had right there, like the tip of our tongues. It's funny because he references the rivalries. They take years and years for the storyline to build up. And it does feel a bit premature that we want to
But this is how you do it.
This matchup.
You got the young star here. You got the young star here. This is how you do it.
But they have to battle in a postseason, Saslow. You can't just have the young stars battling in the mid-season tournament. I mean, let's be real about that, okay? They're going to have to battle in the postseason, and they're going to have to battle in the postseason multiple times for it to become one of those truly storied rivalries. I think we want it to be one of those. I think it's one of the reasons that we have these conversations as soon as we do. But for it to be a real storied NBA rivalry, we need those battles in the postseason, and we're going to need the longevity. Wemby is 21 years old. You mentioned him coming off the bench.
God, I'm more than double his age.
You could be his daddy.
I'm at the
It'd be so cool if you were his daddy, by the way.
Oh, he'd be such a good son.
Such a good son, that Wemby.
You're such a good son.
He really is. But he's 21 years old. You mentioned him coming off the bench. That's all well and good. And it's commendable because, again, he is a budding superstar and he's going to be the face of the NBA. But is he still cool with that when he's, a little bit older and a champ? It's different when you're 21 and you haven't won one yet.
So both of them so young. If I ask you right now, all right, I'm not going to put a gun to your head because that's not nice.
That would be crazy.
We're not taking it that serious, all right? So we don't do gun to the head. But if I asked you who...
We used to do that on local radio a lot.
It's so silly. Why are you being so mean? Why are you doing that?
Radio.
If I were to ask you who finishes their career with more championships, Victor Wembanyama, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, your answer is what?
My answer is Wemby, which is not fair to Shai.
Really? I'd say
Shai's on the better team. Shai's 27 years old. He's on the better team. He's obviously played much longer here than Wemby, and that team is in championship contention immediately. The Spurs have a lot more questions in terms of actually trying to win a championship. The reason I'll say Wemby, though, is because Wemby's he's otherworldly. And I hate this conversation because it sounds like in some way I'm insulting Shai, who's unbelievable as well. But Wemby, it has the ability to be, like nothing we've ever seen before in the NBA. And I say that with the tempered respect of understanding he ain't there yet, but he has that ability. That's where the ceiling seems like it is for Wemby. Whereas Shai can be an all-time great, but I don't know if I hold Shai in that sort of regard in terms of where the ceiling is. So, and also Wemby has a lot more time to do it.
Yeah, I go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Because when we have this kind of conversation, which guy will wind up winning more championships?
Have to have this conversation.
Gotta do it. I feel like
gotta do it before one of them's won anything.
Gotta do it. We're 29 games into this season. Who's gonna win more championships if we fast forward to 15 years from now? No, I have to go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because I can't. When we have a conversation like that, it feels like everyone's like LeBron, where they win 4 championships. Everyone's like Curry, where they win 4 championships. Like, no, a lot of guys win just one.
Right.
And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander we have this conversation, Shai or Wemby. Well, Shai's already got one.
Right.
And winning a championship is so hard. I mean, look, just a few years ago with Giannis. Wouldn't you have guessed Giannis after the year 2021, we get to 2025, he would either have another or come close? Well, guess what? He hasn't.
Right.
Jokic a couple years ago, we thought, it's the beginning of the Nuggets dynasty. They haven't really come close to winning again either. It's so hard to win one. We make it seem like when we have that discussion, and it's a fine discussion, but they're not going to split 8 championships between the two of them. And Shai's already got one.
Who do you think has the better